It's time. Actually, it's way past time. In fact, it's so far past time that we're in the future. I'll say. Hence the beards. Son of a bitch. What is up, YouTube fam and SPN family alike? Wolf420 here, and we are back once again with another Supernatural review, Season 15, Episode number 9, entitled, It's a Trap. Okay, actually it's titled The Trap, but It's a Trap would have been cool. So we start off with a recap. The road so far. The recap shows all the what the Chuck shit that's happened this season. And then we open on a scene in the casino from earlier, and Chuck has Eileen and Sam tied up in chairs. He reveals that he has been helping for weeks, helping Eileen to the bunker, helping her to find romance, and he says he needed eyes and ears on the inside. Then he adds a douchey remark about it being eyes on the inside. And Eileen says, "Screw you." Yeah, screw you, Chuck, you frickin' douchebag. Sam then adds that he was right about Chuck being weak, and Chuck corrects him and says, not that weak, but Sam has figured it out, and they are connected by the wounds, and Chuck can't leave. Chuck monologues a bit more, then he wields a scalpel, and bam, cuts to the intro segment. So we cut over to the bunker, with Cass preparing for the trip to Purgatory, and Dean trying to call Sam, and getting no answer from either phone, Sam's nor Eileen's. And Cass suggests that Sam and Eileen might just be busy on the case, and Dean thinks they could be in trouble. And we don't need this. So we cut back. I wish I still had it. So we cut back to Chuck getting ready to slice into Sam's wound to figure it out, and Eileen manages to call Dean. But Chuck soon realizes it, and he does not fall into the same pattern of monologue on the phone. He says, "Hi, Dean," then "Bye, Dean," and smashes the phone. So we cut back to Dean, and he has tracked Sam's phone on the computer and wants to go save Sam. But Cass gets a ton of balls and shuts Dean down this time, and they embark on their mission after a stern pep talk from Cass. That's awesome. So Chuck keeps hesitating, and then soon Sam realizes that Chuck is having a hard time doing the dirty work. So then Chuck eventually gets meaner and decides to have Eileen do it instead. Chuck controls Eileen and silences her voice and has her cut into the wound, saying that it's going to hurt her as much as it hurts Sam. Holy shit, Chuck is a very believable villain now. Wow. So then we cut to Dean and Cass in Purgatory, and they begin searching for the flower. And Dean suggests they split up, and Cass shuts him down again, and they begin their voyage. Meanwhile, something is creeping and peeping from the wood. And then we cut to Eileen prodding and cutting away at the wound under Chuck's control, and Sam tells him it isn't working. And then eventually Chuck says, "Son of a bitch," this time, and Chuck is baffled by Sam's defiance, and he realizes it's because Sam has hope, thinking that he can win. So we cut away from there. Meanwhile, in Purgatory, Dean and Cass are searching, still being creeped on, and a Levi tries to attack, but Dean and Cass get the drop on him, knowing they were followed. The Levi tells them where the flower is after some prompting by Dean. Boomstick. That's dope. And the Levi also tells Dean Benny is dead, and off they go to find the blossom. We cut back over to Chuck monologuing some more, saying that Sam could win, but he don't want to. Chuck shows Sam a future after the victory in where Sam and Dean and Cass and Eileen are victorious until the phone rings. Turns out it was Jody hunting a small vamp nest, but the nest turned out much bigger and Claire died. Chuck hands Sam a pocket watch that shows the future, the other side of victory. Meanwhile, in Purgatory, Dean and Cass are on their way to the Levi Blossoms and have a nice BM airing out some issues. So we cut back to Sammy Potter using the time turner that Chuck gave him, and he views another sequence of the future. Later on, after Jody called the boys all banged up from a hunt, they lost all the victims of Wolf Den. And as they talk about the battle, it is revealed that Cass is gone at this point, and Dean thinks the monsters are winning. And then we cut back to Purgatory, and we finally see the Leviathan blossoms, but it's a trap. Interestingly enough, there is such a thing as an angel trap, and Dean and Cass are ambushed by more Levi's. Turns out the mother of all monsters, Eve, yeah, you remember that? Has been with Cass, has beef with Cass, and we cut away from there with Dean knocked up. So we cut back to Dean waking up alone, and the Levi Blossoms are all torched, and he's yelling for Cass. And then we cut over to Sam further ahead in time, where Dean quits being a hunter, and Sam's saying Bobby and Jody still hunt. Dean says Donna and the girls are all dead, and Bobby and Jody are just trying to die hunting, and Sam says that Sam is too because of Eileen. So, and then it's also revealed that Cass went mad from the Mark of Cain and he's locked in a mallet box. And Sam thinks that Chuck is lying with these futures. And Chuck tells him, no, this is just what comes after. And then we cut back over to Dean in Purgatory searching for Cass and running out of time with the rift. Dean prays to Cass and has a large emotional conversation and talks about his anger issues and how he lashes out irrationally. He apologizes and he forgives Cass. Touching scene. Well done, my man. And then we cut back to the future, and Sam is going to raid the nest and says he's doing it with or without Dean, and Dean goes with him. The watch stops there, and Chuck says, that's the end of the line, Sammy Potter. And we cut back to Purgatory, and Dean finally finds Cass. Cass tells him he managed to get away, and he fought his way out and grabbed the blossom. Dean goes to tell Cass what he prayed for, and Cass tells him he don't have to because he heard the prayer. The two exchange meaningful looks, and they are close again. That's awesome. Sweet. And then we cut back to the future again, and the boys are on the move again, and turns out they're outnumbered and going down fighting. Jody and Bobby are approaching the door, and turns out they are the outnumbering party that the boys are going down fighting with. An epic battle with several hunters versus vampire Sam and Dean ensues, and Jody is drained dry by Dean, and Sam is decapitated by Bobby. Sam wakes up, and Chuck asks him what he thinks, and we cut away from there. So we cut back to Chuck telling Sam that he is sorry, and that is a terrible ending, and they argue back and forth a bit. And then we cut over to Dean and Cass, back at the bunker, making the spell. And Cass is going to take the Mark of Cain. And then we cut back to Sam insisting he will make the future better, and those visions will not happen. And Chuck tells him he can't fix it, and he spouts the same line, playing fast and loose with the laws of nature. Chuck tells him there's much about the universe they cannot know. And then the Chuck goes on to say that if God is even locked up, the monsters will take over. In the midst of the conversation Captive Sam is having with Dickbag Chuck, we see Baby riding to Sam's rescue. Dean and Cass, with the spell in tow, arrive on the scene, and Dean is attacked by Eileen, and Cass tackles her, and Dean punches Chuck in the face. Chuck doesn't even flinch, and then backhands Dean halfway across the room. Dean rolls the spell ball to Sam and tells Sam to use it, but Sam lays it down, saying he cannot do it. The wounds then heal, and Chuck is full power. Dean tells Chuck they know all of the other drafts of the ending. Chuck tells Dean they weren't drafts, they were the other worlds and the other endings of the other Sams and Deans. Then Dean tells him to go back to Earth 2 and play with his other toys, because they won't do it. And Chuck blinks out, saying, we shall see. And then we cut away from there to Eileen leaving the bunker, claiming that she doesn't know what's real after Chuck used her. Sam kisses her and says he knows their feelings are real, but she leaves anyways. Damn, man. I can't believe that fine ship went down so fast in this disparaging sea of dread. Sam walks into the room that Dean and Cass are sitting, and they talk to Sam, and he tells him he believed Chuck's visions from the time turner, and Dean says that's good enough for him, and vows to find another way. We cut over to the empty with a scene of Jack standing there, and Billy approaches and says, "It's time." And we cut away from there. Son of a bitch! So, the hype is real. Can't wait for the next one. Glad to finally see Jack again. And summing it all up, Sammy Potter and the Time Turner. After victory meets defeat, Chuck is a douchebag full of dicks. The good ship Samoline is critically damaged. We got a sneak peek of Jack is back, baby. And the hype is real. So, that'll be Wolf 420 logging off. And always keep fighting. Have an awesome day. Be excellent to each other. And as always, people, peace out. Like and subscribe. And share with your friends. And all that good garbage. And now that the fourth wall is broken in the reviews, so can be the fourth wall of the Wolf Den yet again. And we may still see the what the fuckery that goes on within these seas of green. Yeah. Alright. Peace out again.